Hello everyone, this is Fenris Lycon, here to bring you Dyson Sphere Project. A new game, a little bit like Factorial, a little bit like Satisfactory. It's about building the infrastructure to build a Dyson Sphere within the star cluster. Start off on one planet, expand out to the little solar system you start out, and then all of the little stars around. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we're on our way to our starting planet.
Welcome to the actual universe. You may find it's different from our homeland. Should you be able to adapt to the laws of physics in a short time, I am your advisor and will help you through this mission.
Look at that. And those stars, those bright ones, are the stars
Everything
of our
here
cluster.
is yours. As one of Cosmo and the pioneer of the Dyson Sphere program, you will explore this cluster step by step. By using the resources here to construct the Dyson Sphere to provide energy for the center brain to maintain homeland, starting from scratch. I have chosen a designated planet for you to start the mission, which has necessary resources for initial development. Now please drive the space capsule to the planet.
And here we go. Now, the first system kind of is,
Now you are about to reach the designated planet.
there we go.
This is Icarus, a lightweight industrial mecha with powerful functionality. You can use the arrow keys or right-click on the destination to control its movement. In this mission, you will manipulate Icarus to travel beyond the stars and create miracles. You can use the same operation to collect resources, such as trees, gravel, etc. In the meantime, hold down Shift and right-click to give a series of commands. You receive several items after recycling the space capsule. Click the inventory button in the lower right corner of the screen to open the cabin to view them.
Alright.
You can hold down mouse middle button drag to rotate
Thanks.
the angle of view, or slide the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
Alright. We have copper, stone, and the other important resource we want, now that all the tutorials are done, is iron. I unfortunately don't see any around here. Ah, here's some iron. So, between these two, we'll end up making a patch. Very kind of similar to
Yet you have
Factorial.
not unlocked the construction menu, which will be done automatically when complete any technology research. Click the technology tree button at the bottom right of the screen to open the technology tree and activate a research.
Alright, let's get that done. Very much like Factorial. The beginning of the game is kind of slow. You have to kind of do everything manual. Kind of like you have to do it the hard way to do it the easy way. So it's kind of teaching you basics.
You have created a mining machine to achieve ore collecting automation. Pick it up from the inventory, or select it on Gathering of Construction menu to build it.
Right. We need some more of these. So we need iron. Iron vein is over here, a little bit far. Once we have that, we can build one more. Perfect. We'll put the one we currently have. We'll want...
You can use the R key to rotate the mining machine for covering more veins. The more veins covered, the faster the ores will be gathered. If you want to ignore grid snapping, try holding down the shift key.
We'll also need power, but we start with a little power, so pretty good.
Wind turbine. You have established your first power grid. Not all power facilities has its power supply area. Use the Tesla Tower.
The other thing we want is kind of the basic conveyor belts. So we'll get that research. And for these, we need to actually just build them. A lot of times it's kind of very similar to Factorial, but we need the research packs. But here we'll need 10 of these. And this will require both steel and copper. We can just kind of steal it from here. We'll need a little more copper for this one. Okay, we have this one, we can get the copper going. A little copper vein. Can we get both of these? That's pretty good there. We have little drones that go out and build things. We don't have the power network, but we can build a, if we have all the resources, which we don't have the copper, so we'll need to gain a little bit manually, just like in Factorial. We have to kind of do manual mining.
Energy is required in all mecha activities. If it is depleted, the activities will be restricted. You can click the mecha panel button at the bottom right of the screen to open the mecha panel and resupply fuel into the fuel chamber.
Thanks.
You have received the sorter and the conveyor belt, which can achieve full automation now. Use the conveyor belt to transport the piled up ores from the mining machine, and the sorter can deliver the ores from the conveyor belt.
Alright. Like it said, down here is your kind of energy bar. When that runs out, you really can't do anything. So you kind of have to constantly put power. If you hover over, most things count as power. So it's not too bad. You just kind of have to keep up on it. And we'll build one of these so we can power this little miner. Get going. Probably won't need to use all of it. Keep some in reserve. And don't... you'll very, very slowly recharge if you're not doing anything. Alright, get that built. And get that working. And we'll want to bring both kind of like copper and iron together. Conveyor belts. They're unfortunately kind of far apart. That's alright.
When putting a conveyor belt, all you need to do is determine the starting point and the end point of it. In addition, use the up arrow key to lift up one level, and and use the down arrow key to drop down one level after the conveyor belt is lifted. Press keypad 0 to reset the construction height of the conveyor belt to the ground. If you don't want the conveyor belt to be attached to the building, you can try holding down the shift key.
Moving these conveyor belts up and down, very strong, very similar to Satisfactory, so you can kind of stack things, have conveyor belts go above and below each other. There's not kind of that underground conveyor belts. If you're used to Factorial, you can move them above. So we'll need some more ourselves. We'll end up building a whole bunch ourselves. We'll grab the iron and generate it over here. Let's get close enough. While we're waiting for everything to build, we can just kind of gather resources manually and shift. Get our belts in. More. We'll need a whole bunch because they're so far apart. They can go over water. I don't have enough to bring us close enough. The other thing we'll want to look for, we don't have the technology for, but we will want to have our smelters. So we'll get that going. We'll want to make sure we're building these. So a lot of these is just kind of manually building them. We'll get 10 of these. We need more iron. We have this thing working already. So we don't even have the technologies to have it automated. And furthermore, we want to make sure our mech is good to go. So we'll end up burning all this nice organic material in our, I guess, like survivalist kind of like generator is how it kind of feels. Feels like they didn't give us a proper power plant in our mech, so we're kind of having to survive scavenging every like little joule of power until we can connect to our own power grid. But that's fine. This is very much a like a bootstrappy kind of game, and the kind of nice part about this is the bootstrapping kind of sticks for the entire game. Alright, we have the 8 we need, so we can get that queued up. And I think we have a whole bunch. Oh, we need more power. We'll keep burning all this organics. So we can keep working. Oh. Well, we'll let our little drones build that while we keep harvesting all of the plants so we can keep our power nice and high. And this is very much similar to like the manual mining until you get everything all going. Ooh, we're out of power. So each of these drones going out, they will drain our power. Moving, harvesting these resources, all takes power. Do I have one more power cell? I'll use these power cells. So we have the smelter loot unlocked. We can use that to get this copper and iron to start smelting. These blue cubes are the science. And then these are to actually automate the building, so we'll do that, and then we'll get the science going. we already have the gears or the circuits done. So we'll use the gears and we'll autocraft that because we're still working on getting our iron set up. But we can get a little bit of the copper going.
You built a smelter, which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots automatically. While you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously, you need to use sorters and conveyor belts.
Thanks.
The sorter is a transportation connector of cargoes between facilities. It will automatically transport them as long as the
Alright, so the sorters...
After selecting the recipe, you can...
Alright, thank you. They basically move resources between either buildings and conveyor belts. So you either go from the buildings to where you want to go, or from the belt to the building, and that will decide the direction. It needs power. So we have these little Tesla coils. Do a little range, the connector will separate, and once we get that built, I'll bring it in.
You have done building the first power transmission facility.
Alright, thank you. So, unfortunately, this is not enough to power both. We definitely will want to do both, and we'll want to get this going too. So we'll get that going so we can kind of craft what we need to get the basic research. I'll end up needing a little more iron. I want to make sure I keep burning these things. What you burn for power, there's kind of like a coefficient, so like the more advanced resources will burn faster. We'll also want to expand our power grid. So I need more copper, and if I can just use the already smelted stuff, so I'll save myself power and time. So the beginning part is pretty fast. Getting ourselves bootstrapped up into the kind of very, very basic stuff. I think everything... Okay, yeah. There's also this technology tree, which pretty decent, and then there's the upgrade for a mech, so this helps improve our mech. This is really good, increasing our power supply. It will also unlock us moving faster, being able to build faster, increasing our passive power regen. It's very cheap, so we can get these things smelted in our... Oops, we're only doing one. We need 20. Our mech, very low in power, so we'll just need to wait until everything's built. Eventually we'll end up connecting our power grids, making sure we're using everything efficiently. Everything you do with your mech does cost power: moving, auto building, picking up resources. So eventually we'll be able to connect our mech into our power grid. That will greatly increase our power grid. We'll also have better power resources. It would be nice if there was coal around and we could use that, but that's alright. And this game is also great too if you play like Factorial and you keep restarting your base, like, I could do this better. You know, this thing's a mess. Because eventually we'll go into planets and even go to other stars. And this is kind of my favorite. Like, you have the constellations of the planets you can go to in the night sky. So, we'll end up restarting our kind of base with this kind of bootstrap base, so we have extra power. And now that we're not building anything, it's slowly regenerating. So we'll select a new resource. Having a little extra power regen. We do need coal for that. We haven't found any coal, which is also kind of unfortunate. That's fine. We do have the blue tech. So, oh, we need this. So we'll go for this, so we can unlock more stuff. The one thing is this tech tree is a little bit wonky because sometimes the tech you need for certain things is in different places, so we'll need 100th of science, but we'll want to actually get that. Everything we need to actually automate that, because that's the whole part of this, point of this game is we want to automate everything. So, copper always needs to be kind of smelted to ignite. Ignites. With iron, you end up using both the raw iron, and we'll need the raw iron and to have it smelted. So we want to make sure we're using both. And as you go, the tech you get makes it so you can make kind of better and easier bases. So we'll clear a little more space too. We're waiting for our conveyor belts to build. And we'll get harvest, clear all the space, and harvester for power. We also we're very much lacking power, so once we get the conveyor belts, we also want a little bit more power so we can actually have this working. We have our little drone go out and build a little more power. And hopefully, click on our little power grid. Now we're generating plenty of power. This is full. We'll pick this up because we'll end up using it ourselves. We could use more iron. Our conveyor belts are done. Pull them down. I think we'll just pull this all the way down and we can use it and then build off this way. As this goes, we'll keep clearing land to expand into. And this will provide power for ourselves. And we'll get these assemblers so we can start using them. And we'll get a few more smelters going. So you can see our power is still going down even though we're burning resources. Because these plants aren't very good, but they're very plentiful. These stone too.
You
Stones
can now
and
click
plants
the
will
planet
have.
thumbnail button in the lower left corner
Nice.
of the screen, or press the M key to try the planet view mode.
Thanks. So we can actually go in and see the entire planet.
In the
Eventually,
planet view mode, you can hold down the middle mouse button drag. Rotate the
yep. We can see it. Eventually, we'll be able to see the resources and kind of plan out. And we'll very quickly use this entire planet and wish for more spaces, not even just resources. That might be several hours in, but once we have our kind of like quarter of this planet covered in our little bootstrapping, see we're out of power, we'll walk slower. We're not going to be building. If I had any coal, it would be nice because I could burn that for a little more. I think I can actually harvest this oil, and the oil burns a little bit better. No, it's not letting me. Okay. Alright. Can't finish building so I can get my power back. Alrighty. And we'll want smelters also for iron. And we'll have to bring the iron in. These Tesla towers greatly expand the power. We can almost do it with this, and we'll do that. We'll need both. We'll need the power. We also have to tell our smelters that we want it to do the iron. So we'll quickly get that going. Ooh, it's actually a little bit out of range for the sorters pulling it in. It's no problem. We have this already. And we can put it here, and we'll use the power to connect our power grids together. There we go. And now we've automated kind of these very basic resources, and we've been pulled it closer from way far over there. Now we want to get this blue science going, and we'll need this kind of magnetic coil, and we'll need circuit boards. So circuit boards is iron and copper ingots. The magnetic coil is a copper ingot and this magnet, but the magnet uses the iron ore directly, and it's in a smelting facility, so we'll have to kind of have smelters making both the iron ingots and the magnets, and we'll end up using coppers combined with both. So we'll need a few more and we'll need more iron. That's fine. We have a whole bunch already made for us, which saves us power, saves us time. Get one, and we'll need a little bit more raw iron ore to make those magnets, because we don't have that set up yet. So we'll grab some. We'll build one more. We'll get the magnets little setup going. And we'll also want more of these. We'll get a few sets going. We'll get a few more conveyor belts going. Make sure we're kind of using our build time efficiently, because that's a very big bottleneck in the early game. we go. Have a whole bunch of things queued up. Eventually we can get this all automated, or at least the basic steps. Also want to make sure we're keeping our mech nice and powered. All these plant resources we've gotten going. Made sure to spend that kind of time, so while waiting for things to build. So we need a little more towers. We have assemblers. Alright, we have assemblers, but we will need more. Here we go. Now I can power everything here. We have magnets going. Alright. We eventually do want sorters, but we need to get this going. So I think the easiest thing is kind of just have 2 productions going early game. Grab the resources. Have inventory sorted. Don't have enough power. We built another wind turbine. We'll need more. So if your power falls way below your need, it will black out. Brownouts are kind of okay. Everything just works a little bit inefficiently. So we'll have a kind of 2 lines of copper smelting. This will be our circuits. Have our drones build everything. Export. Make sure we keep expanding our power network. Grab some of these to help us out. Alright. We have a nice line of iron, a nice line of copper. And we can get some circuits built. We need more of those sorters, so we'll build a few more. It'll be easier to build in the future too once we have it. We also need power. Put them in here. We also want to expand our power grid. We're already kind of browning and blacking out, so once we get a chance, we should expand it. Get a few more queued up. go. Always want to be expanding. And now we have circuit production going. So, circuits is the first half of this. The others, we want the magnetic coils. And we already kind of have this copper and magnets going, so we just need to bring them together. We'll get some more conveyor belts going, because we'll use a lot of them. Everything is... You'll end up wanting to build kind of big. Everything should be kind of made to be expanded. And we'll need to get this copper going. We're building all of this because I know we'll need a whole bunch. If we even have once we are done this, we're going to need more assemblers because I do want to get these gears made too. And we're out of iron, so we'll pick some more from our smelters. Not doing anything. Oh, they are, but no, they are actually. We'll end up being able to build more. Help our drones out by moving closer to the build sites. And we also need to export these. So we'll get them out. There we go. Move over here to help our drones build. There they go. Want to start exporting this copper. Good, that has power. Using power while you're out there. We'll bring the magnets and the copper together so we can start combining them. Few more of these. Few more power. We do need these two. Pretty much need everything in the beginning, so make sure we keep our fabricator going. Select the magnetic coil. So we have the magnets. We have the copper. Now we also need to wait until we get the, more power to the grid. While we wait, we can make sure we gather resources, clear space ourselves. Keep our mech little furnace burning. And personally, I can't waste any resources. Like, I hate doing it. Eventually, build over everything, but right now we're waiting. Alright, everything's built. Perfect. So we can get our power grid connected. You can even use it with power. We're doing pretty good so far. We'll need more of these magnets. We'll get another assembler. Expand this a little bit more. Connect them in. Get our assembler going. Alright, so we have the two resources right over here. We're going to bring them together so we can start with science. Over here. The conveyor belts pretty much need to be at least one away from the building. It's pretty loose grid base. We are a grid on a sphere, so some of these grids don't quite line up, but they do pretty good. Especially because we're working with like an entire planet. It ends up working pretty well. There we go. Bring this in, so we kind of want to be at least one away. No. So if I expand, I'm thinking if I expand, I can either pull it this way and go out, but I think I do want to go this way and down. And I'll end up, we'll move this. And this has a little bit better range than the power. And we'll make this our little wind farm up here, so. Pretty good build range. It just takes our drones a little bit time to get over there. Oh, that's the end of that. Though drones will always build the closest first. They do have a range, the drones, and if you try to move out of their range, they'll actually kind of slow you, so you're almost tethered to them. So we'll move down one more, move close, and if you hit the up key, we can kind of expand. We're a little bit short, so we'll have to build a few more of these. We'll get a few more built. Get a little more iron so we don't have to smelt our non-existent iron ore. Grab these for now. We'll need a bunch of them. But we'll need a bunch of these too. Grab them. There we go. I think we'll get a few more of these queued up too. So, start here, go up. I'll actually start back a little bit. Go up. Then we'll go down. Go over. So we now have our two resources we need for the first science. We'll clear our space while waiting for this build. And we'll actually get a few more labs going. I didn't do the little exports, so we'll get the circuits exported onto the conveyor belt. We have this nice clear space now. So these labs are used for two things. They're used to make the science and then to actually research it. Furthermore, they don't kind of explain this in the
Matrix
beginning.
Lab. You can use it to make Superman.
Yeah, thank you. They stack. So you don't have to, like, in Factorial, you have these giant lines. You can kind of stack these pretty high. And they'll use the same inputs. So, like, 3 is the beginning. And we'll kind of be a little bit limited on pulling them in. But they'll all use the same kind of extractors. And they're one-to-one. So eventually be able to get better at one of these, but we'll do like 2, and then we'll expand it to stack them. They need power, so we'll get a little power relay, and we'll also need more importers. So we'll have these two build, export on the back here. Want to make sure we keep burning all that resources we started with when or we picked up while we're waiting for things to build. We always kind of want to be doing things with our mech. Make sure we're not running out of power. Here we go. Now we're out exporting our first science. And likewise, we get our labs set up. Get a few more built so we can start researching. Bring our power over. And so we previously had selected build the blue cubes. Now we're going to say use that for science. You can do it manually, but you really kind of want to use labs. And we can stack them and have kind of multiple of these going in. So we have 4, probably should be 4 to 4, but check our power grid. So we're not quite generating enough power. We'll build a few more. Likewise, we're using a lot of these gears. Probably should get this automated. So, to use these gears, we want to kind of build off of here. We have an assembler. Yes, we do. Want you to build some gears. We're using a ton of them. And we have storage, so we'll want to build some storage for it. We'll be able to pick them up.
You built a storage, which can be used to store cargo.
Thanks. I built it knowing what I was doing. Thank you. So, by default, the storage has 30 spaces. We really don't need that. 4 is fine. This stacks up to 100, so it's 400. We'll use the gears later, but and so we're backed up on science. We can build more science labs too. So we want to kind of invest in both power and science. We're stacked on iron. Grab that as we need it. So we have new smelting recipes. Sorters are very useful. We also get a faster like importer exporter. So we'll get that going. We can also kind of look in more upgrades for ourselves. We can't do that. This is very cheap, but it lets us see the veins of the plants. We can plan out further. That's all generated. We can do that to move faster. I always really love the extra power because you kind of use it on everything. We don't have any coal nearby us, but now we have the technology to do that. And this is kind of cute if you have. So yeah, we can go and try it. Go and explore and get and we can always build out a little more science. Oops. Oops, 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 oops. We went a little bit too far forward. Now we're too far back. Kind of mouse? There we go. And we can always expand these too when we need to. Expand our little conveyor belts out. Once those are out, have the imports going in. Expand our power grid, and we'll expand a wind farm. So we have the iron here. Down here doesn't look like there's anything, so we'll pull out a little bit here. And we'll build a nice little wind farm in this direction. So they have to kind of be spaced a little bit far from each other. And we already kind of have a nice science going. And now if we go here,
You have unlocked the universe
Yeah,
exploration.
Thank
Now
you.
you can click the details display button in the lower right corner of the screen to open real-time distribution details.
Thank you. So down here, you can hit this button if it's closed. We can see the veins. So we have oil, we have coal. We were looking for coal. More oil, and we have coal here. So we do need coal eventually. There's a bunch of coal. Everything's a little bit far in this map. That's fine. We'll use probably this coal. We'll get like our coal industrial sector down here. It's kind of nice having everything actually a little spread out. It gives us room to expand, and in this one, I do need coal. Okay. I'll change my mind on this, because we'll get that coal set up. So we'll just research. Get researching going. Ooh. While we're expanding. So I'll queue up a whole bunch and then we'll go back to that. Anything that uses just blue, we're good. Alright, so over there's coal. To use coal, we'll end up needing a few more miners. Get some miners going. And we'll use a few more miners. We have a lot of science going right now, so we're blazing through. How is our power grid looking? We're still a little bit short, so we want to make sure we increase our power generation. That's the closest coal mine. We're very slow. Start off with. Already have technology done. So here we'll get a mine going. That looks pretty good. Clear these off. Get conveyor belt. Ooh, we don't have enough conveyor belts. All the science blazing through it. So if you have a nice little setup like we did, it didn't take us very long. You can blow through this beginning science, and this game's actually very much like that. You get like a really good setup going, and then eventually you'll be kind of bottlenecked by the next science, and we'll have to kind of restart a whole new chain to ramp up, and that will be optimal next. So this blue science, that is totally fine. And like I said, we need gears. Grab some gears. Grab some iron. We're actually using all the iron we're smelting, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Plenty of copper in our inventory. We do need more iron. So I'm just gonna go to the iron miner, so I can pick up the iron itself, and if I need it, our mech will smelt it. Oh, and we've already blown through all of that. So anything that just needs blue science will just queue up. We should also look at upgrades for our mechs. Any of these just need blue science? This does, but we don't really need to expand out on there. Another construction drone? Sure. They move a little faster? Great. This needs red science, and let's expand our labs higher. So instead of 3, we can go 4 and 5. This is a really good one. The ores, the miners consume less. All the ores are limited, so that one pays off very, very quickly. Not quickly, but it does pay for itself. Okay. Let's get that. Get a few of these going too. These are really nice. They charge your drone or your mech, and they also have a longer range to connect for power grids. So, see, they can go much further. Oops, and as long as I don't move them too far. Here we go.
You built a wireless power tower, which is suitable with long distance.
Yep, thanks. I already said we very nice for long range. Pull this over. Ooh, we actually don't have any normal ones. A few of these going. Alright. We'll get our copper or a coal going. Get the smelters. Clear a little space off while we're building. And we don't want to run out of power anymore. The beginning, it's kind of destined to happen. That's why they kind of give you those really awesome batteries to help get you going. And if we walk close to this, it'll start charging us. So we get charged up. And now we have these. So we can start moving over. This will be the coal, and we need this energetic graphite. Or graphene? Yeah, graphite. We're still low on power, so we want to make sure we keep expanding our power. We have a few women to go, but we'll keep our mech busy. Yeah, we're blacking out. We do have space here. We have a lot of space here, so we can always use over here and build another little wind farm. now we have plenty of power. Alright. Need to make sure we export and import. We don't need that currently for kind of like any science, but we do need it for some of these upgrades. So if we go back, take a look, we need kind of these engines, motors. So we need both coal, wood which we harvested, and then we need 60 of these. So we'll pull the coal. We almost have 50, 49 to be precise. And we have automation of this graphite. There we go, with the coal. And we almost have that. So, not building anything. We do need motors. It would also be nice to kind of preemptively get the motors. We should get more smelters and assemblers while we're kind of idling here. Make sure we have plenty of this. So we get some sorters. We need circuit boards, but I think it looks like we're using them all. So the foundation lets you build on water. Oh, we could actually use more smelters and expand our operation a little bit so we can kind of scavenge from the excess. So we're currently using everything, so we'll pull the iron ore directly from the miner, which we're not using it fully. There we go. Now we can start smelting it on our own. Get a few more smelters going. Expand this out. We need more of these magnetic coils. Let's get in. Put you on the line. Now we have all of our lab factories going. We'll get the science rolling in a little faster. We'll get another smelter going. This one's more for us than our actual production needs. We also are running low on these, so we want to make sure we build them before we need them. We have solar power. They only work on the day, so as the
data shows this is a planet without natural silicone veins. However, you can still obtain some by smelting stone ore. While you still need a massive silicone collection, you need to find a planet rich with silicone veins as soon as possible.
Thank you. So, yeah, this planet, pretty good. It's rich in kind of hydrocarbons with all this life, but it doesn't have titanium or silicon. So eventually we'll have to find another planet, but it's a very good one to start with because we have kind of these basic resources. We have plenty of coal, we have oil, and those are great power sources. So I think this is a great, like, kind of little starting base we've got going. I'll see you on the next one as we kind of expand our base. We've got all these kind of basic techs going, and we can start working on the second tier of science. So I'll see you soon as we expand on, and maybe not the next video, but hopefully the one after that, we'll start visiting other planets. So I'll see you soon, and thank you for joining me on Dyson Sphere Project. See you soon, and have a good day.